Hi there, and thank you so much for joining us for our Runway Unlimited Model Masterclass webinar. If you're on today, you're interested in knowing a little bit more about modeling and a little bit more about how my mom and I might be able to help you get your foot in the door and learn about the industry. So what we're going to do over the next 15 minutes is dive a little deeper into the industry, what the different markets look like, and then talk to you about what our masterclass entails and what you'll learn over the 6 weeks. So let's get started.
So first of all, who are we, and why do we, why do we do this? Why do we have the opportunity to speak to you about the modeling industry? So personally, I've been in the modeling business for over 40 years. I started modeling when I was 13. I worked all over Canada, all over Europe, lived in France for close to 10 years. When I came back to Canada, I actually purchased an agency and was an agent for 15 years, working all over the world, placing young talent, finding them, placing them in agencies around the world. And, we've gone on to become a business development coach, stylist, makeup artist. This industry has been my life and I love it. I every day is amazing and I love to be able to share what we know, what both of us know, what I know with you and with up and coming talent to really help them break into the industry in an honest, simple way.
And if we haven't met yet, my name is Maddie. I grew up literally in my mom's agency. So I went there every single day after school. I absorbed everything and have been in this industry since the day I was born. I started modeling part-time around the age of 8. I've traveled and worked internationally my whole life. Our work now is based mostly in Ottawa, Toronto, and Montreal, the Canadian market, but we have markets all over the world that we work with. And what I realized over time being in the modeling industry is I realized that there was this true lack of guidance for girls and guys getting into the industry, getting your foot in the door, figuring out who the players are, who the right agents are, and the photographers. And Mom and I would get questions all the time. People would come to us because they knew and trusted that we knew what we were talking about in the industry. And what we decided to do together is put this program together and really be the guide and be the education for people that just isn't out there. So I was lucky enough to put myself through school with modeling. It's an amazing part-time, full-time job. It's an incredible way to make some money. Put myself through university. I now have my degree in athletic development and health. So I also have a fitness coaching business for models as well as for everyday women just to get their health back on track. So that's who we are.
And who this is for. So if you are thinking about getting into the modeling business, I know Madeline mentioned, we get questions all the time. Who do you know? I have a friend, or I know someone, my daughter, my son. I'm constantly being approached or reached out to and asked, who do we actually ask about modeling? So this is for someone who might be interested in even just thinking about it. Let us know it's for you. All ages, the business has changed so much. We're not dealing with 14, 16, 18, 20 anymore. We've got models in their 70s. So all ages, all sizes, it really has become a much more inclusive business, especially when you're looking at influencers. So people who are influencers but might need some help with their branding, a little bit of tweaking of their image. We've definitely worked with people like that, as well as fitness models and even rising models. So if someone is already signed with an agency, but they might not know the business side, they might not necessarily understand all the little nuances of this business because it's very tricky. We really do help get their careers to the next level. So if that sounds like you, it's definitely for you.
It's so much fun. We have such a good time. So what we're going to do over the next few minutes is break down the different markets of the industry. So you might be able to start seeing where you fit in the modeling world. And it's very common for someone to see themselves in maybe 3 or 4 of these categories. So if you don't see yourself fitting into all of them, that's totally okay. It's totally normal. But start to kind of narrow it down and see, oh, I might be interested in that. Oh, that feels like me. And we'll take it from there. So the first area of the modeling industry is called commercial. This is very consumer based. It's very light and fun and girl next door. It's anything off the rack. So if you see a commercial advertisement, you'll most likely be able to find that outfit in the store. It will be on display. It'll be there. You can buy it right there off the rack. So it's, as you can see, the lighting is much brighter. It smiles, it's fun. It's very commercial. Like, it just is very consumer based. So that's mom on the right for Roots. We're based in Canada. And that's mom on the right. That's me in the middle for a New York bag company. And really the commercial market has opened up so much. It really is, you seeing all different types of people in the commercial market. So it's one of my favorite areas. My face is very commercial based, so that's where my money is, but we'll help you find where your money is.
Definitely. And editorial, completely different. You just flip it on its head from a commercial to editorial, completely different. It's very artsy. It's not off the rack. It's really targeted to sort of a high end consumer. So you might see it in the pages of Vogue. You might see it on a billboard. It's there to really attract your attention. And the models generally do editorial, do have that kind of bone structure. It's, again, very artsy, very high end, and fun. So much fun to shoot. Yeah.
As you can see, the lighting's a little darker. A lot of these are black and white. It's a little bit more edgy. Just like you said.
Definitely.
And beauty is really cool because, as you can see, well, beauty tackles everything from hair, skincare, makeup, mascara, eyeshadow, all of the things that are from the chest up. So beauty really works, all the shots are from the chest up. And this is cool too, because this is where you start to see the health of the model come through. And you'll hear Mom and I talk about health as a very key component of this industry throughout the 6 weeks of the Model Masterclass. We like to keep things on track and really teach you how to maintain not only a healthy mindset, but a healthy lifestyle through all of this, because we've certainly seen our fair share of not so healthy lifestyles in this industry. And that's what we're also here to help you maintain. So when we're looking at beauty, that inward health comes out, right? What is your skin like? What is your hair like? It's really fun. And the cool thing about beauty, I'll give an example of one of Mom's old models at the agency. She wasn't necessarily a very tall person, but she made all of her living, all of her modeling career off of beauty, because her face was what sold the product, right? So it's a really cool area because you don't necessarily have to have the classic, criteria of a model, but there are different places for everybody. So beauty is really cool.
And growing. It's a multi-billion dollar industry. For sure.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So getting into runway, we always think of the classic New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, and that equals runway. Well, that is true, of course. And ultimately, that's where we all want to be, is on the runway in New York. However, there is a lot of other work out there for models. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that high end. These photos definitely show that. But then you have mall shows, you have, trunk shows, in-store shows. There's lots of different ways for models to participate in a runway show without being on, the big shows in New York and Paris. And it's so much fun. Being on a runway, it really allows you to bring out that artsy side in you and bring out that showman side or that actor and get out there and have some fun with it. I know you love the runway, so do I. I spent most of my career as a younger model on the runway. And it's only now that I'm older that I'm doing more photography. So it's a really fun. I said it was always the place where I wasn't going to trip. I was on a runway.
Tell about that picture.
So the picture on the end, I'm actually on a dinner table. That was a holiday show for all of the media in Montreal, all of the magazines, Quebec Elle, everybody who was in the business was there. It was run by Coco Rocha. It was my first show back in 25 years. And my first show back after 25 years was walking on a dinner table. So that was, it was incredibly terrifying. And at the same time, so invigorating. It was a great time.
And looking at fitness, now this is an area that I am super passionate about. I could talk about it all day long. But the thing that we're really starting to see in fitness, and what we've seen transition over the last, I would say, 10 years, is the inclusivity of body image and age and all of it. ethnicity. We're starting to see so much more inclusion of all types of women and all types of men, to be honest. And this is cool because growing up, I was someone who was very, like, I was a stick figure growing up, but I was also a competitive ski racer. So I had a trainer and I started to understand the value of my health and the value of muscle on my body. And so as I continued to kind of go through my education in athletic development and health, I transitioned into the category of fitness. And it opened up a whole new door for me to be able to work this area of the industry. So if you're someone who really has a passion for body image and all this kind of inclusivity, then this is an area for you to look at. We're starting to see so much diversification in all the areas. So fitness covers lingerie, fitness covers active wear, athleisure wear, swimsuit. It really is everything that has to do with athletics and the body. And it really just amplifies that healthy glow within you. And if you have any sort of athletic background, if you're a dancer, if you're a ski racer like I was, mom was a competitive horseback rider, whatever area you might have a little bit of expertise in, that will benefit you because Lululemon, sports experts, North Face, all of these companies nowadays will truly only hire models who also have an expertise in that area or who also practice yoga or climbing or running in the middle there. So if you have any sort of athletic background, don't be afraid to let that shine. That benefits you and that will take you farther in this area of the industry.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. They're looking for, more authenticity. So in the old day, I can really speak to the old days because I have been in it a long time, and they would fake it. Photographers and art directors would just fake the look. If you weren't a runner or if you weren't a mountain climber, whatever, they would just fake it. But now they're really looking for authenticity. So they're looking for those models who actually participate in the sport rather than faking it. So that's exciting.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's great. And then speaking of which, getting into lifestyle and really opening up women over 40 into the modeling business. So it's no longer the 25 and yes, of course, there's still a ton of work for 25, 18, 15, it doesn't matter, but it also includes anyone over 40. So lifestyle can be skincare products. It could be PSAs, it could be spas and lifestyle housing developments.
Yeah.
Catalog, magazine. So it really does encompass so many different variables and reaching out to the women who are over 40 and who want to see themselves now in ads. I can relate. I don't necessarily relate to someone who has perfect skin and they want to see the wrinkles. People who are, I'm 57, I want to see someone I can relate to. So advertisers are really jumping on board, starting to use women who are 50s, 60s, 70s. And the lady in gray, that's Maura. She was one of our students, came along and was working within about 4 months, took the masterclass, and 4 months later did a national television commercial because she's exactly the right look for, she really does encompass health, beautiful lifestyle, and she's in her late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's great. And then getting into television, people become actors through their introduction to television, a lot of times through modeling. It might just be something they do, something backstage. They might be silent on camera, maybe an extra in a film. They could be just doing a television commercial. But there's something that sparks an interest there. And so that's your first sort of baby steps into television and film. A lot of times what will happen is a model will start as a model and then transition. You take acting lessons, start doing little bits here and there, and then build a career from there. It's very, very common for people to make that transition. If they have a great memory and a passion for acting, then it's definitely a stepping stone to bigger things when it comes to film.
It's so fun. It's so much fun. So as you can see, understanding your market, like we just talked about, is just one area of the things that encompass the profession of modeling. And that's really what we talk about, is this as a profession. And we break it down pretty strategically. The other areas that are really important is the basics of walking and posing, like your classic model poses and walks. We talk about all of that. Understanding the business. So who all the players are, who the agents are, the politics in the business, really starting to get a grip on that. maintaining model shape in a healthy way. So like I said, Mom and I have a lot of expertise in health and wellness, and we really go into that because it's so important. It is so important.
It is.
Showing up as a model, like how do you actually walk in the room? How do you bring that confidence and shine that through to help you get the job? Model essentials, what do you have with you? Like we talk about your model bag and absolutely all the things you need. Your tickle trunk, absolutely all the things you need. So these are all of the things that we start to go into. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break down the 6 weeks for you. So it's a 6-week model masterclass. It's online. It's on Zoom live every Wednesday, just like this, although we'd be live together. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And I'm going to break it down for you so you can get a good understanding of what each week entails. So week number 1, we talk about the fundamentals of modeling. So we go into those markets again, and we talk about criteria. We start to get right away into rates, right? I think it's super important as a business. We're talking about this as a profession. What can you expect to be paid back? So if you are going to take the masterclass, when can you get this investment back, right? We talk about branding. So if you are someone who is on social media, you want to learn a little bit more about your branding, we go into that because it's super important for you to understand that as a model, you are your own business. You don't work for the agency, you run the ship. So we talk a lot about that. Week number 2, we have a celebrity guest stylist. Her name is Erica Wark. Mom started her in the industry many years ago. She's now one of Canada's top stylists. She does all the red carpets, and she talks to us about what she looks for when she hires a model. And we get a little bit more into branding there too. So we talk about castings. We talk about wardrobes, how to show up. We start to get into that model bag, those essentials. And we talk about self-tapes, because oftentimes what's happening now is more and more castings are being done from home. And so we start to practice doing self-tapes and sending those in to the agencies. Week 3, we get into model makeup and hair care, because it's very important, not just as models, but as women, to know how to take care of ourselves from the outside to the inside. So we talk about skincare. We talk about how to show up as a model. If an agent says, show up with no makeup, what does that mean? What does that mean? So we have an industry expert, Bella Luke, who comes in to talk about skincare and a little bit more about makeup. We talk, we watch a Bobbi Brown video together, and we talk a little bit more about makeup as well, which is super fun. We love makeup. We don't wear a lot of, we're very natural, but it's super fun to get into. Week 4, this is when we really get into the runway and we get into posing, and we have a full tutorial broken down for you that Mom and I work with 2 of our very good friends who are also models who break down how to really get the fundamentals of walking and posing and movement down. We go into acting scripts because some people who come on are really interested in acting, and it's good to get that momentum, because one day you might be showing up for a sports casting, and the next day you might be showing up for a TV commercial. So you never know what you're going to be doing. So it's really important to practice that.
And one of our students who we signed last week, her first thing that came through, first casting that came through was a script. It was an actual, she had to act in a script that was actually written by herself. She had to write it herself.
Oh, wow.
So that's tricky. It's good to have, it's improv. Yeah.
So it's super important to practice, really important. And this is the place to do it. Week 5 is the business of modeling. So we really get into the nitty-gritties. We talk about agencies. We talk about the relationships between the model, the agent, the client. We get into contracts. So if you're signed with an agency, they're going to present you with a contract. We talk about that. What does that look like? What does that mean? And then objections and adjustments. So if you do receive no's, which is, I mean, we're in the business of rejection, right?
More no's than yes.
More no's than yeses. So how do you adjust from there? How do you learn from those and continue your career forward? Week 6, we call it maintaining model physique, but it really is health and wellness. It really is getting into how to take care of yourself, not only as a model, but as a woman, and really take care of yourself day to day. Because it's you could get a casting call for tomorrow, and you want to make sure that your mental and physical health are good to show up as you are, perfectly as you are. So we really get into that. We talk about lifestyle. We talk about health in the industry because it's a very interesting topic to talk about. So we really get into that as well. And
these are just a few of the people that we've been working with in the last few months. All have taken the masterclass, all are signed with agencies. And you can see that we have a huge range of ages, sizes, looks. We have lifestyle models. We have Georgia, who is 15. We've got girls in their 20s. And really, what we're looking for is not necessarily, the perfect height, the perfect anything. It is about personality. It's about grit. It's about wanting to make it in the business, and having that spark and the willingness to find your spot in the business. And that's the sweet spot for us.
Absolutely. Mandy, the second in from the right, I scouted her on Instagram and she just shot for El Quebec. So, Georgia in red, she's an actor. Carol on the right, she's in Toronto. Vanessa bottom left in the yellow,
She's an entrepreneur.
She's an entrepreneur. She's a Toronto influencer.
Go get her.
And these are all girls, like Mom said, that we've worked really close with, who've all taken the masterclass and are all signed with agencies. So we really can't wait to work with you.
We can't wait to work with you. We start in January. The cost of the program is $239 for 6 weeks. And what we'd really like to do, and I certainly, if you have questions, reach out. If you want to get on a call with us where we can chat one-on-one and really trying to sort of get down to find out what it is that you want to do with the business. Is it acting? Is it modeling? Where do you really want to branch out and build a career? Find out how we can help you. We'd love to do that. There's a link in the website. You just go in there and book a call with us. Or if you decide, yep, I'm going to do it, it's happening, there's also a place for you just to place your spot. So we'd love to have you do that. If you need anything at all, we're here.
We run the masterclass 3 times a year, sometimes 4, depending on the year. And we would absolutely love to work with you. So we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.